Coming up on News Live at 6, First-Year Players was widely successful last year, how they're now using their platform to give back to the community this fall.
Plus, local food pantries are struggling to keep shelves stocked due to increased food insecurity surrounding the delay of SNAP benefits, how they're coping ahead.
And over 900 people participated in the annual Walk to End Alzheimer's yesterday, how the community came together for a cure when News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
First Year Players is raising funds in support of inclusive theater here in Syracuse. Welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Kaitlin Campbell.
And I'm Riley Faye. The third theater group put on an event in collaboration with Front Row Players, a group for adults of all abilities. Our Grace Elford tells us more on how they're using their success for good.
From slow ballads to upbeat dances, First Year Players is all about expressing oneself through performance.
It kind of put all of these huge theater kids who did it in high school, they did it in middle school, in more of a professional environment. Pretty much all of us are not theater majors, so it was a really good chance for us to do that.
The student theater group came together last night for a cabaret performance in the Shine Underground, but this time the purpose was a little different.
First Year Players is collaborating with Front Row Players, a local nonprofit group for adults with developmental disabilities. All the proceeds from the cabaret event will go to furthering their mission of making theater accessible to everyone.
FYP is coming off massive success from their spring production of Legally Blonde the musical. The show was not only the highest grossing, but the most viral one yet.
It was insane. Our closing night had, there were people, up in them, and it was just crazy to see how into it everybody got, especially for something as, musical theater.
FYP wants to keep this momentum going and use the win to spotlight others in the performance community. They did this through acts featuring their own team and the members of Front Row Players.
Actors with intellectual disabilities are often overlooked, and this just gives them a better chance to be spotlighted and just highlight this organization more and more because they really deserve that.
The actors and crew alike think this is what makes FYP such a special place.
Kind of giving back to the community of not just Syracuse University, but Syracuse overall. I think that's a really nice part of this entire experience.
Grace Elford, CitrusTV News.
Thanks, Grace. And staying on campus, SU is starting its Native Heritage Month events right now with a kickoff social on South Campus. It's going on at Sky Barn until 8 o'clock tonight. Attendees can expect traditional Haudenosaunee songs and dances along with teachers so you can join in and learn. Throughout the month, SU is holding events to honor Native American heritage. For more information, visit the Intercultural Collective's website.
Millions of Americans have been facing uncertainty this weekend as November SNAP benefits have not yet been distributed.
Our Kate Tannenbaum is here to discuss how this is affecting our community in Central New York. Kate, good evening.
Thanks, guys. Good evening. SNAP benefits in New York are normally distributed within the first 9 days of the month, but the ongoing government shutdown has delayed November's payments. Pam Alderman from the Salvation Army says that local food banks are seeing an incredible increase in food insecurity as a result.
Even last week we served, I think, 40 new families out of our pantry that have not been utilizing the pantries.
2 federal judges in Massachusetts and Rhode Island have ruled that the Trump administration must continue to pay for SNAP using emergency reserves. However, the ruling did not specify whether the program needed to be funded in full or only partially, leaving many Americans unsure if they will receive their benefits. In the state of New York, there are nearly 3 million SNAP recipients. That's 14.7% of the state's population. In central New York, 187,000 people rely on SNAP to feed their families, with 67,000 of those in Onondaga County alone. Without all these benefits being distributed, local pantries are struggling to keep their shelves stocked to support those in need.
Just keeping meats and proteins in our shelves. That's where we're hurting the most right now. Some of our grain items, but certainly just keeping our pantry shelves stocked to be able to meet the needs of the families that are coming in that are very, very scared about what they're going to do.
Governor Kathy Hochul announced a state of emergency and has allocated $95 million to support local food banks. But the Salvation Army is urging anyone who can to donate non-perishable food items to their local pantries. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Kate. And now we're seeing more of that fall weather. Our Grace Elford is live outside. Grace, is it still cold and rainy right now?
Now, Kaitlin and Riley, this is the first time I've been out here on the Citrus TV weather deck, and it's been completely pitch dark outside. Over the weekend, we had daylight savings time. Definitely a sign that winter is on the way here in Syracuse, and with that, the winter temperatures. Right now, it's 46 degrees, and we've been seeing some showers on and off throughout the day, so definitely more to come tonight. We're going to drop down to around 43 degrees later on tonight, and around the region, everything is going to be looking right around these similar temperatures. In Rochester, 48, Penyan, 47, here in Syracuse, around 43, Cortland, 45, Ithaca, 43. So definitely be sure to bundle up and stay warm out there. It's going to be getting chillier and chillier as the semester goes on. I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. I'll have more later on in the show.
Thanks, Grace. Now, new details on the situation unfolding at SUNY Morrisville. The campus remains on lockdown and all evening classes have been canceled after a shooting was reported on campus. Dispatchers reported a person with a serious gunshot wound to the neck inside South Hall, a dorm on the east side of campus. State police say the victim is not a student at SUNY Morrisville. Dispatchers told officials that a suspect was seen running from South Hall after the reported shooting. Citrus TV has reached out to SUNY Morrisville for more information but has not yet heard back.
Back to Syracuse, the warning period for the city's traffic zone enforcement has officially ended. Drivers can now be ticketed and fined for traffic violations in school zones, whereas they were previously just warned. Now, if a driver commits a violation, they will receive a ticket in the mail. Tickets for speeding or running red lights in school zones are $50, and if payments are late, an additional $25 is added.
Over the weekend, the Onondaga Community College hosted the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Our Grace McCloskey tells us how the people came together in search for a cure.
Crowds dressed in purple filled the SRC Arena on Sunday morning for the annual Syracuse Walk to End Alzheimer's. Participants made their way to the Promise Garden to choose the flower that represents their connection to the cause. Blue for those living with Alzheimer's, purple for those who have lost someone, yellow for caregivers, and orange for supporters.
I am a senior citizen with mild cognitive impairment, and I'm third generation Alzheimer's. I've lost 4 people, which is why I got so close. One for my grandmother, one for my mom, one for my aunt, and one for my cousin who just died last year.
Attendees honored loved ones at the tribute wall in flower garland, powerful displays of remembrance and hope.
It's the people and their passion and their hearts that really drive all of us forward for wanting a better world for their community members and not have to suffer unnecessarily.
After recognizing donors and flower holders, the walk officially began.
The funds raised for this event go to efforts for finding a cure, along with efforts for change in public policy. So far, this walk has raised over $300,000.
Alzheimer's and dementia is not natural aging. It is a brain disease and it needs to be responded to as such.
The Alzheimer's Association is actively pushing Congress to pass the ADAPT Act, the Credit for Caring Act, and the ASAP Act.
All 3 of those bills are extremely important to giving some relief to caregivers specifically. Not only are they caring for children, but they're also caring for elderly adults with the disease.
Through every step and every dollar raised, the Alzheimer's Association moves closer to a cure and greater support for those affected today. With Citrus TV, I'm Grace McCloskey.
Thanks, Grace. And Election Day is just hours away. Early voting numbers in Onondaga County are at the highest ever. More than 17,000 ballots were cast during the early voting period, which ended yesterday. That's a more than 40% increase from the previous record set in 2023. Citrus TV will be live tomorrow night for our election special, bringing you updates from the Syracuse mayoral election and others across the country. Our coverage will begin at 9 o'clock tomorrow night on YouTube and Orange Television Network.
Citrus TV's election special will also include coverage on a mayoral election that everyone has their eye on, the race for New York City mayor. The 3 candidates, Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, and Republican Curtis Sliwa are all making their final pushes across New York City today to get people out to vote.
More than 735,000 early votes have been already cast. That's the highest number ever in a New York City mayoral election. Frontrunner Mamdani spent Monday morning marching alongside supporters to the City Hall. Meanwhile, Silwa visited Coney Island to pay respect to burn attack victim Debrina Kawam. Cuomo spoke out to Hispanic-dominated areas, advocating that he can bring change to the city.
Coming up, the Trump administration is complying with a judge's order to restart SNAP benefits, where the money is coming from.
Plus, the government shutdown ticks on, the latest developments as it nears the record length.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
You're watching Citrus TV News Live at 6 with Kaitlin Campbell, Riley Fay, and Grace Elford. And now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. The Trump administration announced they will partially pay for food stamp benefits for November. The funding will come from the program's contingency fund amid the government shutdown.
In a sworn statement, the U.S. Department of Agriculture said they will use nearly $4.7 billion from the fund to pay SNAP benefits. The program costs about $9 billion for the month. Recipients will not receive benefits right away.
The federal government remains shut down as it reaches its 5th week. The shutdown, which began last month over the extension of the Affordable Care Act, is almost the longest shutdown in the history of the United States. On Sunday, President Donald Trump said, quote, he won't be extorted by Democrats who demand negotiations, end quote.
He also said he would not negotiate with Democrats until the government reopens. As we enter November and the government remains shut down, millions of people lose food aid benefits and continue without paychecks.
And to the latest on the planned terrorist attack in Dearborn, Michigan, 2 men face federal charges for the planned attack. The suspects bought AR-15 style rifles and over 1,600 rounds of ammunition.
The plan would have been on the scale of ISIS's 2015 Paris attacks. The suspects supposedly chatted online about, quote, extremists and ISIS-related materials that encourage attacks similar to what they have planned, end quote.
And the Trump administration has started to assemble American troops and intelligence officers to Mexico to crack down on the drug cartels. U.S. officials say the planning stage is underway, but there is no set date for the deployment.
The troops would consist of people from the Joint Special Operations Command under the U.S. intelligence community. The Trump administration says it is, quote, committed to utilizing an all-of-government approach to address the threats cartels pose to American citizens, end quote.
When we come back, all of your full 5-day weather forecasts, stick with us.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. For this week, you're definitely going to be experiencing cooler temperatures than we did compared to the beginning of October, now that we're beginning November. We're going to be at 50 degrees all throughout the week, and definitely some mixed showers. You know, some sun, some showers, very unpredictable. So I think the key here is definitely layering. Bring those sweaters, bring those jackets, whatever you can to stay warm and stay dry throughout the day. And since we are heading into November, the foliage around the region is definitely hitting its peak and its past peak. So it's really your last chance now to get out and explore those central New York forests and beautiful parks and see the foliage before it starts falling off the trees. And to me, that is a sign that we are headed into winter, unfortunately. And what I'm thinking about, when can I expect the first snow? Now, our average first snow here in Syracuse would be around November 5th, so coming up this week. But sometimes, like in 1946, we've experienced it as early as October 1st. Last year, we didn't get it until November 22nd, though, so definitely later on. Hopefully, we get that this year. But the last snow in 2025 last semester was on April 22nd, so super late. And last year we did get 120 inches of snow. Hopefully we're a little bit more lucky this year and don't get quite as harsh of a winter, but we can't know yet. Kaitlin and Riley, I'm gonna send it back to you.
Thanks, Grace. And right now, the manufacturing company Kimberly-Clark, known for consumer products like Cottonelle toilet papers and Kleenex tissues, is buying Tylenol maker Kenvue in a deal worth nearly $50 billion. Kenvue also makes Listerine mouthwash, putting the combined company's annual revenue at about $32 billion.
This comes just a few weeks after President Trump promoted unproven ties between Tylenol and autism. The increased scrutiny saw Kenvue's stock drop sharply last month. The deal is expected to close in the second half of next year.
And turning towards a local miracle story, it's been nearly 2 weeks since an animal was left to die in a horrific cruelty case.
Our Colleen Nakuda sat down with the woman who received the early morning call and made the decision to save him.
To most, the sight of a dog may bring a smile. But for one animal, a short interaction became a fight to survive. According to Humane CNY's urgent Facebook post, a pit bull, now named Chance, was stabbed in his left jugular and left to die near and around East Willow Street, Syracuse, just over a week ago. He is now recovering with the help of the shelter.
It was like, I can't believe he lived through it. I don't know how he lasted. I think it was about maybe 3 hours from the time it happened to the time he actually had surgery. And he was in pretty critical condition. I don't know how he made it.
His story has left the community of Syracuse and pet lovers everywhere outraged and touched by his remarkable journey. Showing Executive Director of Humane CNY, Maureen Davison, just how important their work is to the community.
Who knows what charges will even be filed or how anybody will be prosecuted, but that's discouraging. But at the end of the day, we just focus on who can we help? What dog out there right now needs us the most? You know, and sometimes that's hard to pick and choose as well, because you feel like, well, why am I picking this one over that? Because there are so many. He's just one of many that we're called about every single week.
Davison said that across the country there has been an increase in neglect and acts of violence against animals. But Humane CNY's mission is hoping to help the community.
Humane CNY is a nonprofit, no-kill organization that is looking to find homes for loving animals in need.
Chance is now recovering with positive spirits, and his rescuers hope his story drives more people to support animals still waiting for their own chance. Reporting from Syracuse, Colleen Nakuda, Citrus TV News.
And coming up on sports, Syracuse men's basketball opens up its season in the Dome tonight. How will SU fare against Binghamton? All that and more coming up on News Live at 6.
This is 28-1. 28-1.
It's that time of year again as the start of men's basketball sits under just an hour away. Welcome into sports. I'm Brook Kilgore. Coming off 2 exhibition wins, SU welcomes Binghamton into the Dome tonight. Things look a little different for this Orange team. However, with only 2 returners in Donnie Freeman and JJ Starling. So who better to talk about this game with than our very own Luke Burgess. We're super excited to have him in studio today. So Luke, you're looking great. Super glad to have you on. A big question here after witnessing 2 games so far in terms of exhibition. What are some of the major takeaways that you noticed against Buffalo and Pace for this team?
Yeah, Brooke, I think the biggest takeaway simply has to be what the team showcased in the second half against Pace. If they are playing to their full capacity on defense, this could be a really hard team to score against. Obviously, Pace is D2, but Syracuse really took over in that second half. So if they can do that tonight, this is a Binghamton team that struggled in conference play last year. I think SU can dominate.
Talk about a team who has dominated. Of course, we saw some great second half performances. Donnie Freeman and JJ Starling really contributing. But who surprised you the most from these preseason games, and who should Cuse fans keep an eye on tonight?
Well, I think those are 2 different answers, to be honest with you, Brooke. I mean, I think thing one, you obviously excited to watch Kai and Anthony, and I think he was more of a surprise. He really contributed in meaningful minutes in the preseason against Buffalo and Pace. I'd look out for him to get some serious time tonight off the bench, even though he's likely not going to start the game. And then Sadiq White Jr., I think everyone expected him to be as good as he was, but my goodness, was it a revelation. I think fans are going to be really excited to watch this 5-star freshman hit the floor. Expect him to be one of the top scorers for the team this year.
Well, Burgess, we're going to give you some time to get back out onto the court and do some reporting, but if you want to follow Luke's coverage all of tonight, you can follow him at BurgessLuke03 on X. Now to the field, some news coming out of today's press conference with head coach Fran Brown. According to Brown, wide receivers coach Miles White is no longer on staff, with Josh Gaddis taking over. Former QB coach Nunzio Campanile will switch to tight ends, with Mike Johnson taking over the quarterback room. Brown says that these changes just had to be made.
But for us to get the best out of our players for the last 3 games of the year, for us to possibly try to go and fight to be able to have a 4th game and to do all the things that were needed, I felt as though there was some stuff that needed to happen on our staff.
So SU football aims to get back on track against number 18 Miami this weekend with kickoff at 3:30. We're going to switch it on over to the turf here. Number 9 Syracuse field hockey is set for the ACC tournament tomorrow. The conference announced earlier that SU will take on number 6 Wake Forest in Louisville with a 6 p.m. start. Meeting in the postseason for the first time since 2016, the Orange look to avenge a 2-1 loss to the Demon Deacons during the regular season. Syracuse comes off a 3-2 loss to Louisville on Saturday, trying to bounce back to avoid its second back-to-back loss all season. Follow our reporter Sydney Chan at SydneyO_Chan on X. And the Bills take down the Chiefs in a 28-21 thriller last night in Buffalo. Since the start of Week 9, only 1 of 5 victories for the Bills came against a team with a winning record. James Cook III rushes for 114 yards on 27 carries, becoming the first back in 33 games to top 100 yards against Kansas City. He now leads the league with 5 100-plus yard performances. Josh Allen sets a Buffalo record on the other end of the ball, completing 88.5% of his passes. Getting out of the cold, the Bills travel to Miami on Sunday. Riley and Kaitlin, back to you.
Thanks, Brooke, and go Bills. When we come back, we'll have one last look at your weather.
We'll be back in less than 2 minutes.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
News live at 6. When you wake up in the morning, it's going to be around 45 degrees, and then it'll warm up to about 56 by noon, but definitely anticipate some rain showers in the afternoon. Guys?
Thanks, Grace. I was hoping for a little bit of a better forecast. I'm kind of getting tired of these rain showers.
Right?
Well, for our final story tonight, we'll take you to Arizona, where local police captured an emu named Frank after 2 days on the run.
The Cottonwood Police Department said on social media that officers and animal control were dispatched after several 911 calls reported an emu running loose through traffic last week. Frank, his name, was caught by using one bit of trivia about emus. They can't walk backwards.
The officers cornered Frank next to a fence and took him into custody. Cottonwood police say Frank is now back home and doing well. I mean, this is
I will
You're
say,
from Arizona. Have
yes,
you seen?
Growing up in Tempe, I don't think that is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Of course, I can't really go back to my 8-year-old memory, but that has to be probably one of the top 10 things that the state has seen in a long time.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's CitrusTV News live at 6 for this evening.
Don't forget you can follow us on X and Instagram at CitrusTV News. Now for the entire CitrusTV News team, I'm Riley Faye.
And I'm Kaitlin Campbell. Have a great night, Syracuse.